I'll start with XRP, and I'll zoom out first and then I'll zoom in. It's definitely gone sideways for the last 3 or 4 days. So what I'm looking at just on a bigger scale is this expanding channel here. So at some point it's going to hit the bottom, and I reckon it's going to do a triple bottom to break out of this. Yeah. Uh, but now what I really want to pay attention to is these two yellow lines here, the golden pocket, 618 and 065, because it's playing within that when we zoom in, and the same with these support lines here on the blue lines. Yeah. So when I zoom in, is what I'm also looking at is the purple channel. So look at the purple channel here. Is that from this drop down, is you get a correction and a failure, and you can see it just travel down this line. A correction and a failure. It travels down, drops through, comes back, travels down it again, breaks in, and then again a failure, little sideways, drops down again, back into the channel again, and again it's gone sideways here, and it's just broken out of the channel here. Yeah. And then I'm also watching the red channel here, where price action broke out of it, and again it's popping back into it. And then the last line is this white line. You can see here that it's resistance, support, and resistance. So price action is playing in this area right now. So when you zoom in, you'll understand what those lines are. Yeah. So now here is the two yellow lines is the golden pocket. You can see it bouncing in the golden pocket, and it's just come out of the golden pocket, is drop back in, and it's above it again at the moment. Yeah. Now I'm going to put this onto the 4 hour just to give you a bit more detail on the candles. Yeah. So again, the two yellow lines here is the golden pocket. So you can see it's bouncing along here. Now, one potential is it's doing a triple top, 1, 2, 3, and that would be a push to the downside. Yeah. However, is it dropped out of the purple channel here, or it didn't drop out of it. Sorry, it broke out of it, back tested it. Excuse me. Got back into the red channel, and now is back testing the red channel. So again, this is part of what I'm looking at here. Is at some point this purple channel has to actually give a lift rather than a failure. But if it was to fail, again, it would come down for its correction and drop back onto this channel, travel down to hit the 30 or so. Yeah, or even just wick to it here. Yeah. If it wanted to capitulate, now we're looking at our breakdown, and we're back down into this channel again, or equally it's in the red channel and it heads back up to the top of the red channel. That seems to be it. And then this white line, remember, resistance, support, resistance, broke through, dropped back into it. It's above it at the moment, and again you can see the play of what I'm looking at. Yeah, and again here's the 618, and then just the final thing I'm going to mention here is this channel here, this white line and this white line is 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, will it be coming down for 5 or not? So that's what I'm looking at, and then if I put this in here, I'll block this out so you just so there weren't too many lines. So then when I put that blue line back in, here's the triangle. So you see the triangle here, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, and again to me I keep looking at it. It's heading down here. It looks more like it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7, and up or down. Yeah, it seems that way. The triple top here would support a rejection. However, there's no denying that I'm looking at maybe a 1, 2. What I'm looking at now is a 3, 4, 5 for the correction. Is 1, 2. If this is a 3, then a 4. It could be again coming up higher. Yeah. So it's just in this space where the straight answer is I don't know. And now I'm putting this on here. Putting this on here is just to map out the space here, because you can see it set it up. The question is, will it hold, or will it break through, or will it drop? So that's one thing. That's one thing I'm looking at. That's the pendulum of the different motion, different channels, different support lines. Now I'm going to give a bit more detail here on the 12-hour, or not the 12-hour, the MAs, the daily first. It looks very bullish for the daily because the VWAP turned up, the 5 continued up, and then the 10, which was down, took a turn up. And then here's the medial line, and price action is above the medial line. So it looks all super bullish. Is if price action got below it though, is this could turn into bearish quite easily as well. Yeah. Is you can see that it's already wicked up here, and there's a bit of a rejection. And it's been playing in this space, but at the moment there's a wick on this. Yeah. And again, here's the triple top again. 1, 2, 3 as we're looking. So that is at the moment quite bullish. Same with the 18 hour. Is super bullish. Look at the 20s underneath, the 10 is underneath, the VWAP, the 5. The only thing holding it back is the 20 EMA. So again, that looks all the same on the 12-hour. And it's already pushed up here and got a rejection at the moment. Excuse you. Here's the 10-hour, and again, it's nearly wicked to the Bollinger. And again, this is where it sort of starts to turn a little bit, because if you look at the formation here, the 5 is coming up and trying to come down, the 10 is coming up, and it's looking like it could turn. So these guys, even the 20 EMA here, so these guys are sort of encouraging to try and get down. They're battling, but the 20 here is holding. Yeah. So you can see when you get into these hours, there's a bit of support for the push down. Again, you see the 5 and the 10 here, so you can see them the natural formation of the wave coming down. Yeah, and again, this has been solid support. I have a point. I'm just telling you the story to it. Here's the 8 again. I don't want to repeat myself too much. The 6 is where it gets a bit more interesting. Now this was red a moment ago, or a few moments ago. Now you can see that there was a rejection on this 6-hour. So remember, the day turned, we got the pump, and we got a rejection. Here's the 50 MA, and again another lift up to it, and another rejection. That this was red. Here's the 50 again. This may be breaking the 50. The VWAP has gone sideways, and again you can see the 10 here. 10, these could easily become resistance. And again, the 5 is coming underneath, and here's the 20 EMA. Yeah, so. I'm watching this because again, there are 2 rejection wicks at the moment. Then on the 4-hour, again, it's a challenge. It's looking pumpy. This was coming down. You know, it looked like there's the 5, there's the 10. Sort of caught in the middle here is the 55 has been holding it all the way through. It's been challenged again. And then the 3-hour, now this is my point. This is what I'm sort of getting to, yeah. Is there's a bit of a bearish divergence here, is on the 3-hour. You can see all these wicks are rejection wicks. Pushing down, rejected, rejected, rejected. It shifts here. So it pushes up and it gets a rejection. It pushes up, up, up. So it's pushing up, getting rejections, yeah. And it's looking like a bit of bearish divergence on the chart. So if I bring this up here, do this like this. You can see this peak here. You see this peak here. Okay, let's have to put everything else on it. So this peak here and this peak here. So this peak is higher. So there's the red line there. And you can see that these peaks match, but yet this peak's gone a little higher, yeah? So now look at all these peaks. Is these peaks these peaks here, maybe pull down a little lower. There we go. You see the peaks meeting, but when you look at it here, here's the peaks. Here's the same peaks here, and then the peaks here, and this one, look at their lower. So therefore the momentum, even though price action is going up here, is the momentum is actually weaker. So the RSIs are actually lower and not able to meet the same level as it did previously. So that's telling me that while the price is going up, the momentum is getting tired. So when you see the 6 hour, I said the 6 hour turned red. There it is again. The 3 hour again is looks like it's turned red. And here's the 100 MA on the 3 hour. Yeah. Here's the 144. And then here's the pi cycle, the 111. These are very difficult to get through. There's a tendency to battle through them, and potentially it might actually get up here. And what would be the value of it getting up here is, I'll go to the stock down here. The value of it would be, and you can see the stock lifting here, it looks like it wants to get back to the top. So the fact that, look, if this, on the next 3 hour, if you see this up here, is most of the lift to the top is already done. The effort to get this up to here is most of the lift. This is just a bit of momentum after this, and it tops up. So it looks like the 3 hour wants to get back to the top. And if it does, again, it's an indication it's back to the top, so it can push down. And that this has been its pathway to get back up, where it was rejecting the down, but again, now it's rejecting the up, but yet the stock gets to lift. So I'm watching that, and there might be a bit of a battle going on with the 144 and the 111, which would also facilitate the triple top. So I'm hanging in there on my short at the moment. When I look at the earlier time frames, they are switching to looking very, 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 very pumpy as well, you know. But then when you start to look at the 6 hour and the 3 hour, this is where I think the play of things is really, really playing out, yeah. So now the last thing I'm going to do is just go through the EMAs, yeah, just as a story, yeah. So here's the daily. There's the 20 on the daily. So at some point we're going to have to come back up and test this. Here's the 12 hour, which you can see that multiple times it's been tested. It's been tested here. If I just flick, I'll go to the 6 hour. I don't go through too many of these. Yeah. Okay, it's just nearly touched the 55 here, bouncing along the 20. The 4 hour, again, the 4 hour is where I'm really watching for the divergence for the breakup, because all this spill here, there's a 4 hour broke here, 4 hour broke here. So right from the very top, each spill is the 20 crossing the 55 on the 4 hour. Yeah. So now it breaking up is a clear sign that we're heading up. Yeah. But there's a battle going on. There's a battle going on for it at the moment. Yeah. So now when we zoom down through the 3 hour, you can see the 3 hour is the battle for the 3 hour. If the 3 hour turns, which it hasn't yet, if the 3 hour crosses over, again, it's another sign that it's going up. Yeah. But you can see the battle with it at the moment. And then looks like a push down is coming, possibly. Again, this might want to get right to the cusp here, right kiss off, the wicks kiss off each other before it turns. Sometimes it does that, yeah. And part of that story would be, why, if it did that and why didn't it cross, is because it got exhausted. Price action got exhausted getting it up to here. So it's its first real attack, so to speak. Just whether it will succeed or not is another thing. And then the 2 hour, Again, you can see there's the 2 hour at the moment. Again, it's looking pretty pumpy. The only thing about it is even with the VWAP is leading a lot of the push up. The VWAP, there's the 1 hour. Again, the 1 hour, it's in this sideways, so it's crossing over, back and forward. I thought here we were heading down. I thought when I crossed over here and I saw this, that woohoo, here we go, and we're back up here again. You know, so now when I look at the 15-minute, this is where potentially there's a potential turn here if this price action starts to break below the 20 again. So we look at the 5-minute, and again you can see the 5-minute is getting closer. The 20 is getting closer to breaking to 55, and the 5-minute break through the VWAP again, and again we'll have a downward motion. Is it the breakout? I don't know at this point. Until it clearly happens, I've stopped telling myself it is. You know. So just out of curiosity. Okay, there's the 2-minute crossed over, yeah. There's the 3-minute crossing over now at the moment. So you can see the momentum is heading down. So that's where we're at. Is with regards validations and invalidations. I think they're the same. They're pretty much the same as they were yesterday. Yeah. Here we go. These are the simple targets up here, possibly up at 37.50. What do I want to see for this breakdown? I definitely want to see it get. I want to see the 15-minute break. But I've seen the 15, the EMA here. I've seen the 15-minute break here, but not come down here. But there's been a lift up now. So, and you can see it attempted it there and failed, and it could be coming to do it again here. I think what we need to see is the turn here is the 5-minute break leading into the 15-minute break, and then back into the triangle, yeah, back below this line. So I would suggest what's a good confirmation is to be really sure about it would be to be breaking this bottom here. To be breaking this. Oh, hold on. So 31.83, 32 essentially is to confirm continuation to the downside. I definitely want to see this break now. Yeah. Again, I suppose going to the upside. I think this one is easier, but whether I want to stay in to go all the way back up here again, is the answer to that would be no. Would be 33.75. I think I would be looking at the 3-hour here, and there's the 144 at 33. Here's the 111 at 33.28. Again, I've got a wick through. I would stay in to see how it goes here, because I am looking at bearish divergence on the 3-hour, and I am looking at the way this pattern is being played out, and I am looking at the stock looking to lift here, and it looks like it's ready to lift. If it is it's exhausted itself. It'll exhaust itself to get up here, so it is looking like a down. So I would hang in. I would hang in for that to see what's going to happen. But if I start to see it go up this level, get up this level and really get solidly up here, I think it would be time to come out. So that's my my confirmations is 31.83 for a short, and a clear breakthrough of 33.76. It would be for a long, yeah. And again, I'll be looking to come out of my short in this zone if that's the case. So that's it. That's where I am today. And then just lots of effective sideways. I counted it. It's 80 hours of sideways. 80 hours of sideways, I think it is. So it's 3 or 4 days of just being in this, yeah. But that's it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it plays out. And it'll be nice to move on from this, to get out of this and back into nice swings again. Would be nice. But I'll leave you with Mihaela.
Now, how do I...
Oh, you reduce there.
I'll reduce this, and I'll cancel this one.
Yeah.
Stop streaming, and then I'll start with the...
You should be there.
This one, Bitcoin, yes. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Let's see what we've got here. I'm gonna start with ETH because I was talking to Neil.
It's already open.
Yeah, I know. It's open here. Yes. Thank you. I'm gonna start with ETH because I was talking to Neil on the chat, and I wanted to show you the levels that I think ETH is gonna go through. Now, ETH is generally very neat with levels, and there are 3 steps up and 3 steps down generally in swings. Now, I'll remove the wedge that we've broken out of. I'll keep the target just so that you see it. Now, at the moment, it looks like we touched a support and resistance line here. So this was my confirmation, and it was slightly lower. But then I realized we're not breaking it, and I thought I should bring it up a little bit so that we have a little bit more confluence between the past and the present. So I think the confirmation of the downward move is a little bit higher. It's the level of 1050 that it's trying to break. Now, looking at ETH with fresh eyes this morning after all this sideways, I don't believe we've actually gone through a level 2. So, and I'll show you why. So this would be, we would have an M formation at the top, which would be the peak formation. And is still asleep. So we would have this M formation here at the top, and it has this white neckline. Now, if I'm to bring it a little bit higher to have confluence with the neckline of the M, and then these wicks here. Now I know things are normally a little bit neater, but we've had a lot of sideways and we've had a lot of wicks recently. So I'm taking the body of the candles from when this sideways channel started and the neck of this. So the first level for this drop would be I would measure the length of the M, and I would put it at the neckline. So the first level would be here, meeting the target of that wedge in and around it at 1020, 1030. Let's add an extra 20 points so that we have our targets met. So that would be the first level. Then here I would be looking to see if there is some accumulation, and probably in that channel again we'd have a particular range, and when that channel breaks we have the second step down. So we'd have step 1, level 1, step 2, level 2, and then whatever happens here, I would measure that and put it down for the third step down, because they're always first step down, first step down, second step down, third step down. So that's how I would measure these levels. And then switching to the MAs, now on the MAs I would put again like I would use a wider, a longer time frame, like the 4 hours. So this would be where the neckline is. Again, I would measure it. This looks like a rounded top formation or a head and shoulders. If I place it here, it would be about 980, which I think would be the target for that drop. And again, whatever happens here, I would put it down. Now, we don't have any MAs here for confluence at this target on the 4 hour. So if I don't have any information about that, I would change to the 12 hours. And look what we have on the 12 hours, we have the Bollinger. So I think there is confluence for this second level drop, which would meet the target of our wedge, and it would meet the technical target of this peak formation. Now, this sideways is confusing, and the reason why it is confusing, it's because it's at the bottom of this long downward swing. So the big question that's on our minds today is, are we going for this, for a second level and then a third level down for a double bottom in the long time frame, or is this a V-shaped recovery? And I'm gonna change the color for this because it's red and it interferes with the chart. You might think it's a wick. Or is this a V-shaped recovery going upwards? And that's where the levels come in. And I'll change to the channel. So if we are to go meet the target of the wedge and the target for the double bottom, we need to break the 1050 level. That's the level that we need to break. If we are to go higher, we have to break first the I think that's the 1100 and the 1155. There's a lot of sideways here, so I think the best way to trade this is taking it step by step and then DCAing. Don't load up any of the trades either on the way up or on the way down, because there might be levels going up. So we might see a double top here if it breaks through this, and then coming back down for the 950, 980 target, or we might see it, this being the temporary, the local double top, and then heading down for the wedge target, and then continuing downwards for the double bottom. So the invalidation of the downwards move is the same, so it's the 1250 for ETH, and the confirmation is the 1050. So I've moved the confirmation slightly up because we've had some more support found last night. But again, we are super sideways. The MAs on the daily are sorry about that. So the MAs on the daily are not looking great for the up. They were looking much better yesterday, I think in the morning, or I don't know, I don't remember exactly when we were holding the 5, but right now we're no longer holding any support on the daily. However, the 5 is coming up to meet the 10. Sometimes this weakens the push down of the 10, and price action can get above the 2 of them. If that happens, again, it's for the intraday trade, that might be just a double top and then coming back down. For the longer perspective, we need to hold the daily consistently, day by day, with support. It is what it is at the moment, and we can only look at how it's breaking the levels and how it's holding them. The stochastic on the 1 hour and on the 15-minute is looking like it needs a breather. Where that breather is going to take us is going to let us know if it wants to push down further, or just do a slight retrace, maybe a double bottom here on the confirmation, and then head up. Again, it's very much in the middle. If you haven't taken any profits at about 1060, 1070 range, you might get another chance. There might be a push down. I do suggest you take some profits, because this might go either way, and you wanna get paid. And then I would be mindful of what's happening if it's getting here. So managing your risk if it does want to break upwards.
Cheers, Mahela. That was useful.
You're very welcome.
Clearly, I took profits this morning, and I've come out, and I'll just wait for another confirmation to get in.
Very good, Neil. Yeah.
Is that up?
Yeah, very
it's
good.
in no man's land at the moment.
It is not. That's what it is. Like last night, I took profits on my Bitcoin and XRP shorts, because I was looking. I'll switch to Bitcoin so that I show you guys what I mean. So last night I was looking at these candles not managing to break below the late 19,000s. And I said, no, I don't wanna have half of my profit, wiped out. This is too much a rejection. It's been trying to push down, and it's not managing to. And at the moment, I'm looking to see what it's gonna do, because again, Bitcoin, like XRP and like Ethereum, might head up to do like a double top formation here, and then head down for a double bottom, and that would. If I'm looking at Bitcoin has nicer levels for this on the 4 hour. I'll remove this one. So if I'm looking at this for levels for Bitcoin, if I'm taking this as the neckline of what might be either a double top or a head and shoulders, and I would calculate it, and again I'll be conservative with the wicks. Here's where the first drop would happen, so around the 18,600. But we need to see what happens here, since we do have on the 4 hour the 5 lifting, it's above the 50, it's above the midline of the Bollinger. It might just want to go up to the top of the Bollinger on the 4 hour, and then start heading down. And here in this level, again, we're going to have a sideways channel, not necessarily of this width. And when we start completing that sideways channel, I'm going to measure it and put it down for step 3. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So again, Bitcoin, like Ethereum, I've done a little bit of readjusting of my channel lines. It is at the moment in a descending. I thought it was more of a sideways, but it is a sideways channel. I've adjusted the midline again to include what happened yesterday, and the wedge would indicate another tap to the bottom. As with Ethereum, we need to see because it is technically above the midline. Like Ethereum, it is above the midline. We know that when it gets above the midline, it likes to go to the top line. So it is in the middle of the middle. It could go either way. There are wicks on both sides longer term. There might be a double bottom or a bigger head and shoulders formation here, and then a drop down. The wedge hasn't yet met its target. I'm still waiting for it to do so. Yes, like I don't want to make this. I don't want to repeat myself. That's where it is. I hope London will give us some clarity in today's session. If not, New York will probably do something. Again, we might be. I was looking at what happened here in terms of duration, because this was sideways. It looked like a nice recovery. It looks very similar to this, and this went on for, I think, I don't want to count it, 16th of June to the 18th of June, so 3 days. Here we've been in it for, so the drop is 22nd, 23rd. We might have today and then some movement happen tomorrow. So this might be, again, another lulling sideways time for all of them, XRP, Ethereum, or Bitcoin, until it decides to do something. Yeah, so good move, Neil. Good move. That's it for me for New York, for London. I'll see you guys at New York time.
Great, thanks, Michaela. Thanks, guys.
Do you guys have any questions?